Since 2003, Total Air has been keeping Tampa Bay area homes cool with friendly service, skilled male and female techs, and easy online booking. Perfect for your hot Florida days.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Total Air, cool responsibly.
When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Sponsored by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power. And Total Air.
How you doing, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. We were cooking today, mid to upper 90s, not a lot of humidity, and up near 100 in a couple of spots. Welcome to Dennis Phillips Live. You know, we've been doing this kind of a chat thing going on for like maybe 20 years, way before Facebook started doing it, way before we started on the spot. And a lot of the times it really started to get going when the tropics were going. Because once we had a tropical storm or a hurricane, a lot of folks got together, we talked, we asked questions, we answered questions, we gave our advice, and today is the first day of the 2026 season where we actually have something worth looking at that could have an impact on our area. But what kind of an impact? Well, we'll touch on that coming up in just a minute. If you're watching on the spot, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. If you're watching on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube, nice to see you as well. As always, the hellos come in fast and furious. Steve, how you doing? Nice to see you, my brother. Palm Bay's in the house with Louisa. Pinellas Park with Eric. Downtown St. Pete, Sherry's here. We've got Spring Hill, Bowling Green, Pat. We've got Largo with Kelly. And yeah, lots of folks here. So here's what we're going to do today. We actually, for a change, have some real weather to talk about. We've got some forecasting to do. If you are watching on Facebook, feel free to ask questions. Bridget Joe, how you doing? Nice to see you as well. Dover's in the house with Patricia. Kurt saying no blobs. Mulberry's in the house with Cindy. So obviously lots of folks showing up on social. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into the forecast. We're going to talk a lot about impacts locally expected over the next 5 or 6 days with this blob right here. By the way, I'm not sure how the yellow bloob turned out. I don't know if it's a typo, but I've been seeing all these people saying, we got a yellow bloob out there as opposed to a blob. Maybe I missed something, I'm not sure, but the yellow blob or bloob, whichever you prefer, is right around the area, with another one way out off the coast of Africa. Well, right now you can go ahead and X that one out, because that ain't gonna do nothing. There's a ton of dry air, there's a ton of Saharan dust. Matter of fact, we were showing you this a couple days ago. So this is the forecast through early August. And if you notice, look at all that dry air in the Caribbean. That is classic El Nino. Classic El Nino. Dry air, no development in the Caribbean. You look the first week of August, dry air in the Caribbean and dry air in the tropical Atlantic, in spite of waves coming off of Africa. There they are. But they're going to run into that dry air and they're going to get zapped. But what we don't see is dry air in the northern and central Gulf. So, if anything were to develop, keyword if anything were to develop, it would likely be in the northern or the central Gulf. Well, go figure. That is exactly what the Hurricane Center is showing with this area right here. But what does it really mean? All right. So we're going to talk about that. So here's the way the time frame is going to work out. We're jumping in to our forecast, the first segment. Second segment, we're going to talk tropics. We're going to show you some of the models, how the euro has gone back and forth. In what world do we live in that the GFS is not predicting a tropical storm and the euro is, and the icon is? So what in the world is going on? Because y'all know my nickname for the GFS is the GFS-a-cane, because it loves to spin up random hurricanes out of the blue. And for whatever reason, maybe the blind squirrel found the nut. Maybe this time it's going to be right. We'll have to see. Second segment, we're going to talk models. Third segment, and this is going to be a fun segment. I got to leave enough time for it because it's an 8-minute hit. I recorded when I was up on our family vacation. You know, we did a road trip right up 95. By the way, public service announcement. Have you guys seen in the work zones on 95, they have radar things on the work zone signs? I know 3 people that have gotten tickets from these radar things, because I guess they register your speed and your license plate number. So just so you know, even though speed traps may not be apparent on 90, and I have not gotten a ticket yet, hopefully, but apparently these radar things where it says what your zone is also gives you a ticket. And they're all over 95, all the way from Georgia right up to Maryland. Anyway, I digress. Family did a road trip up to the Maryland shore, going down to the shore, hun. And we talked to some experts about how to eat blue crabs. Look, I'm a blue crab fanatic. My family, blue crab fanatics. But there is a skill. So if you've ever wondered, and you get them in the Gulf, we can get them local. I mean, there's a place in Tarpon that I get them from. There's a place off of the Gandy that I get them from. So you can get blue crabs locally. How you cook them, we'll talk about that. How you prepare them, we'll talk about that. And how you eat them, we'll talk about that. That's coming up in the third segment. But let's jump right in to what's going on locally. And we'll be answering your questions as well on social media, even after we are done with the spot tonight. There's a look at radar. There are some showers inland, but today it was all about the heat. We talked about it earlier, all about the heat. Not a lot of moisture out there, not a lot of rain. Feels like temperatures are really not much higher than the air temp. That's the drier air we've talked about, right? Now, my oven's a dry heat, true, but we do not get heat advisories usually with this kind of a setup, because even though the afternoon highs might go mid to upper, yes, Ryan, cook them in beer. Oh, yeah, you guys are already talking blue crabs. I gotcha. Yeah, so mid to upper 90s feels like temperatures because the air is so dry. Jenna Marie, born and raised Maryland girl. We got a lot of oh, look at all you guys talking about the blue crabs. Third segment, we'll have that. Low to mid 90s, even some upper 90s today inland. Outside right now, skies are partly cloudy, 89 degrees. Winds out of the west at 10 miles an hour. The high today, 2 degrees above average. Not all that high. I mean, nowhere near the record of 97 back in 1932. You guys are just, all the comments right now on social are about blue crabs. It's not about a hurricane. It's just about blue crabs. All right, anyway, there's a look at the radar. Whatever's out there will be inland and east tonight. All right, starting tomorrow, moisture begins to return. All right, not huge, but we start to see, no, Adam, I do not see the drought index looking any better tomorrow. The city of Winter Haven likes crabs and beer. See, look at you. This is what you guys want to talk about. Maybe I should do the second segment. No, we got to go in order. We got to go in order. They're talking crab cakes. Leanne, talking about crab cakes. Melanie, born in D.C., love Pope's Creek. Make crab cakes. All right, anyway, tomorrow afternoon, inland showers and a couple of storms, all right? Here is the key to this forecast, guys, and we start to see it on Friday, all right? First of all, first and foremost, this area of low pressure does not exist. This isn't like tracking a tropical system and say, okay, here's where it is now, here's where it's going to be in 3 days, here's where it's going to be in 5 days. No, it doesn't even exist. So let me show you something. So over here, right, my low weather map thing, this is Friday, this is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You notice on Sunday and Monday, the rain chances and the coverage are closer to the coast because the low will be closer to the coast. Again, it doesn't exist yet. So what's my point? Don't be canceling your plans yet. I have gotten so many messages. Do I need to cancel? No, do not cancel your plans yet. At least wait until the low develops. And I'm telling you right now, worst case scenario could very well be a best case scenario for us. I mean, if there were to be some significant rains, that's exactly what we need. But guys, look, it's way too, I mean, it's just too early. I mean, I'm telling you, the way I see this playing out is we will have enhanced rain along the coast. There will be rain, there will be sun, but there will be a little bit more rain than we usually see. Friday, we start to see it, but we notice it more over the weekend. Look at the highs, mid to upper 80s. Why is that? Because of more cloud cover. And there's that map I just showed you. So we are looking at coastal areas with a better chance of rain. It lingers into early next week, again, assuming that that low actually develops. So there it is. That's from the Hurricane Center right there. A whopping 20% chance this becomes, look, I don't care if this becomes Bertha or it doesn't become Bertha, because the impacts will be the same for Florida. Our best case scenario is we get some nice soaking rains for a couple of days, and that potential certainly does exist. But I'll say it again, guys. Mark this on your calendar, 7:40. The weather guy said, do not cancel your plans, because I do not want to hear Monday and Tuesday, you told me to cancel my beach plans and it didn't rain that much. The way this is going to play out, as it always does in Florida, some areas will get more than others. The coastal areas have the best chance, but we will have a much better idea tomorrow and as that low actually takes shape. Make sense? All right, let's hit a break. We'll talk models and tropics coming up in 90 seconds as DPL continues. Okay, I got to leave myself 8 minutes for this last hit. It's an 8-minute package. It's like a Michael Paluska package. Mike Paluska is one of the best reporters I've ever worked with. The guy's great. But man, he does some long packages, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and they're always interesting. They're always entertaining and really good stuff. But I got Mike beat on this one, because this is an 8-minute package, and it's just literally me holding the camera, interviewing Ray and how to pick crabs and how to cook them and all the other kind of good stuff. All right. Would you keep or cancel an event on Sunday? All right. And I'll say this, Ferdian, I would wait a day. I would not cancel it today. I would see how tomorrow plays out. And you also have to tell me where this is going to be. Because if it's inland, I think the chances of rain, I would not cancel a thing. Second segment needs to be 3 minutes, Charlotte. Yeah, you're probably right. I would not cancel a thing if you live inland areas. I would not. I would not. Let's see, has the 8 o'clock numbers come out yet? Yep, 8 o'clock numbers are out, and they are the same. Back in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. The 8 o'clock advisory is in from the National Hurricane Center, and it looks exactly the same as the earlier advisory. This is as of 7:30. 20% chance of development over the next 7 days, 10% on the other one. Northeastern Gulf and offshore of the southeastern U.S., an area of low pressure is forecast to form. Say it again, does not exist yet. It's forecast to form during the weekend over the northeastern Gulf. Some gradual development of this system is possible while it moves slowly northeast over the northeastern Gulf and near the coast of the southeastern United States next week. All right? So let's look at models. The spaghetti models with the Euro AI, all right? Oh, that's the old run. Let's look at this one here. So there you go. Let's go ahead and take the Gulf here. So this is a whopping 20% chance of a tropical depression forming. So again, whether you have a depression, whether you have a storm, in my mind is meaningless because this is a rainmaker, period. That's all it is. So how much rain are we talking? Well, here is the updated number. And boy, this is a great map to show you because look how the heaviest rain is by far right along the coast. So I'm going to say it again. If this does happen the way the models are showing, and check us out tomorrow because we'll be one day closer. We'll have a much better idea. By the way, asking about boating conditions, we're thinking west-southwest winds, probably about 15 knots Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Moderate chop, I would guess, on the bay is probably a realistic expectation. So, anyway, look at the rain along the coast. Look at, if you live inland, if you live east of I-75, your coverage will be significantly lower than if you live west. So right now, that is kind of the way that I expect it. Let's look at the Euro here. All right, this is as of, we'll look at the current numbers. All right, this is Thursday night. Here's Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Coverage is still typical summer. Here's Saturday morning. Look in the Gulf. Look in the Eastern Gulf Saturday morning, 8 a.m., Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. The heaviest rain stays offshore. Now, this is the Euro. The GFS is not nearly as aggressive, but look at Sunday. The heaviest rain starts to roll in Sunday afternoon along the coast. This is 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday afternoon, Monday night, Tuesday, and Tuesday night. And that is a lot of rain, guys. And that's even Wednesday. So if the Euro is right, we get a ton of rain. But look at the GFS. Look at the GFS. Friday, look at Florida. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, nothing. Nothing. The GFS is predicting bupkis. The Euro is probably predicting about 7 or 8 inches of rain. So one more day, we'll have a better idea tomorrow. We got to hit a break. We're going to be talking blue crabs when we come back. And at the end of the show, we'll finish with Tropics and answer your questions as DPL continues. Okay. So I'm going to come out on this package. All right, let's see. Can I see that? Yeah, it's good. All right. All right, so how much time we got? All right, so I am going to take this video. I hope it runs. It should. It's 7 minutes and 58 seconds, so we will be okay, right? 8 minutes, 57, 55. I have like a 30-second last segment. Holy cow. Yes, you are good for scalloping, Chris. And again, I'm going to answer all the questions after we're off of TV. But I needed to get this in for broadcast because I was talking about it. And so many people, I get more comments about blue crabs than anything else. I swear, because they're so good. And I thought this was really interesting. A buddy of mine in Ocean City, Ray, great guy at Higgins Crab House. And he's going to show how everything was put together. But I'm just going to take this hot because we are literally that tight coming out of the break. All right, so I'm just going to take this in. I'm not sure I can hear everything with the IFB. Let's see, this is going to be tricky. All right, 7, 6, 5, 4.
How you doing, everybody? Tampa Bay 28 Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips here. You all know Ryan as well. We thought we would share our little bit of our family vacation here. That's why I got the scruff going here. And I know so many folks in the Bay Area have asked about steamed crabs. And, you know, sometimes folks in the Bay Area, they cook them with garlic and with butter, but the really old-fashioned, the traditional way in Maryland is with just a ton of Old Bay. Now, you are kind of lukewarm on the whole crab thing because, well, look, there's a lot of work to be done.
I eat snow crab.
She likes snow crab, but the blue crab she's still working on. So anyway, we figured we would come on out. So y'all know Mike Broussard, right? Mike runs the Crawfish Festival, and we had him on the show a couple of months ago. And his mom, Bonnie, you know, she's our official Louisiana representative during hurricane season. And so we've got a friend of ours, Ray, who runs this Higgins Crab House North in Ocean City, Maryland. So we figured what a great way to come on over and check it out, and he will show you the correct way to pick a crab. Now I know there's a lot of folks that have different ways when they like to do it. Ray has his way, and based on what I've seen, it's pretty exceptional. So this is the way that Ray picks the perfect Maryland blue crab. All right, so here we go. So this is a Maryland blue crab, and we were talking about Ray. Now, Ray, you're with my daughter Ryan here, all right? And everybody knows Ryan. So go ahead and show us the best way. And I guess, like, a lot of people have different takes on how the best way to pick a crab, yes?
There's more than one way. There's no incorrect way, but there's just more efficient ways to pick one for sure.
All right, so for the newcomers, because, you know, a lot of Floridians, you know, we don't know how to do blue crabs like the Maryland. I mean, it's just not nearly as efficient. So go ahead and show us what you're going to do. Ryan, you going to take notes? Yeah, all right, take notes. All right, here we go.
First thing you do is you need to get this shell off, okay? So you take the knife, you open that up, that'll come right off.
So you open the shell, take the shell right off, all right.
Then you get your thumb underneath here, and that shell will pop right in.
It just peels right off.
Yep.
All right.
Now this all in here is lungs, and they call it the guts. And the green stuff in there, so the yellow stuff in there is mustard. Some people love that on their crabs, some people don't. But we'll clean all that out. You can use your fingers, you can use a knife. None of that's really edible anyway.
Now, because I always use the knife to get the lungs and stuff off. Is there a preference? Is there one way that's better?
Whatever gets it cleaner faster.
Okay.
So there is none. But you want it to look just like this, the cavities in there like this. Then we're going to pop these claws off. I save them for later. So we'll pop those off. So right there. And now you're just left with the cavity. So everything in these legs here, there's no meat in there. So I just take a knife and I cut them right off. Sort of. Yep. Just to get them out of the way.
So you cut those off as opposed to pulling them off.
Some people pull them off, some people cut them off, but I think it preserves the meat if you cut them off, because then we just have a cavity like this, and you pop it open, split in two. And here's where Bobby Higgins, the owner, taught me this. So now that you have that, you take a knife and you just right down the middle like an apple. And then when you peel that open, now you have all your meat exposed right there that you can pick out with a knife, your fingers, whatever you'd like to do. So that is all good crab meat right there. Put that out, and you're good to go.
Now, when you're seasoning this, I mean, that's the one difference between Maryland and a lot of other places. I mean, the seasoning is really the key to everything. I mean, when you're cooking, how much of that Old Bay type seasonings do you put? Do you just load a ton of it in there, or do you also use it and then dip the crab in it afterwards?
We steam with it, and then we add some after, just because it's personal preference. Some people don't like the spice at all, so they request crabs with no spice. Some like heavy spice. So we do steam them with them just to get seasoning and flavor, but we don't add too much. But I think when you split it like this, it just allows that meat to come right out so much faster, so much easier.
Now, when you cook them, how long do you cook them?
You need to steam them. It's funny because if you look this up online, they don't give you a specific internal temperature to get those crabs to, but you really do need to steam them. Like if you're doing it at home in a pot with some water or some beer, whatever you want, they've got to be steaming. I don't mean steam roaring out of that pot for 20 to 25 minutes. You don't want to understeam them because you can get sick, for sure.
Okay. So put them in boiling when the water's boiling for 25 minutes?
You're going to want to get it like a double boiler or a pot with a grate on the bottom. And you want to fill that bottom with water or beer or both. Some people do. But you want to make sure you keep adding water during the process so you get plenty of steam.
Oh.
You really want steam roaring out of that pot for a good 20 to 25 minutes. And if you're not sure, do it for 30, because I've definitely heard of people steaming their own crabs at home and getting everybody sick at the barbecue. So
Oh, wow.
You don't want to do that.
Okay. So is there a certain color that they turn when they're done, or is it just pretty much the time frame?
They will turn. They'll go from a bluish green to orange when they're done. But it's a little bit deceiving, because that doesn't necessarily mean that the meat's thoroughly cooked inside.
Right. Got it. So 20 to 25 to maybe even 30 minutes.
You want to make sure that steam is coming out of that pot.
What do you think, Ryan?
So, you want to try one?
I don't crabs.
She's not sure. She's
Well, I'll pick the meat out, and you can try it if you want.
Yeah, you're going to try it. Go ahead and take a bite. Well, I will then.
Yeah.
Oh, that is perfect. Look at that. Oh, that is really, really good.
So,
And I'm like you. I kind of like to take the meat and then I'll dip it in Old Bay as well afterwards.
Old Bay, butter, whatever you prefer, but I really feel like this is the most efficient way to get all that meat out of that crab without too much waste and too much effort. And then we'll get to the claws here in a minute. I'll show you a quick way to do that.
Okay, so which is the back fin, by the way?
Back fin we just took it out. When you cut it open, the back fin is here and here. So the two back fin claws, that's where the back fin meat comes right out of there.
And a lot of times, that's like the choice, the primo, right? That's the best stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
If you buy like jumbo lump, it's mainly that big lump of back fin meat on each side.
Okay.
We're gonna save the aprons to count.
Count how many we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the claws, I just kind of like right about where the pinchers start.
Yep.
Just put them right there.
You don't use a mallet?
You can, but you just pop it like that. Then you have the claw meat right there. You just put that in your mouth and eat it like a lollipop.
Awesome. How long have you been doing this?
I have worked for Higgins Crab House for 31 years. I have managed here for 27, so a while.
So you're
Same thing with that lower half. Pops right out.
got it. About as experienced as it gets. Well, every time we come out to Ocean City or Fenwick, we always stop by. You guys are the best. So Ray, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And hopefully some folks in the Bay Area now are a little more well versed on. Look at that. That looks good. So thanks again, and we will have a good night, and we will hopefully see you next year as well.
All right, we went right to commercial break because I'm going to have like 20 seconds left. By the way, you guys are lazy. I'm looking at all these comments. Oh, that's too much work. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's very funny. Literally, like, look, the joy of picking crabs is sitting there with your family or your friends for hours and drinking a Natty Boh and having Old Bay and just talking and talking and talking. It is a social thing. It's too much work. All right, I'm literally going to have like 20 seconds when we come back. And I'm going to tell people that we're going to do Tropics on social as well. So, all right, we'll be back in 20 seconds. Oh, man, they were so good. Seriously, I mean, you dip them in butter, then you dip them in the Old Bay. So good. All right, we're back in 10 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Thanks again to Ray from Higgins Crab House in Ocean City. The comments are hysterical. I'm reading these comments. It's too much work. I don't have to put that much work. That is the joy of eating Maryland blue crabs. You put down a paper, you just sit there for hours, you drink a Natty Boh or whatever, and you enjoy your company with your family and your friends. So it is a blast. You dip them in butter, you dip them in Old Bay. It's the best. Anyway, we're going to continue on social with more Tropical Talk, and we'll be back tomorrow night on our next edition of Dennis Phillips Live. All right, we're in a break. It seems like we're hitting the brakes a little bit late. Like I think there's a little something going on with Master Control. And I noted that we had some issues earlier on because I have the monitor over here and I can see when we're no longer on TV. And even at the end of the segment, when I hit my commercial button right here, it didn't look like we went to a commercial for like 7 seconds. So there's definitely some kind of shenanigans or tomfoolery going on. All right, so let's go back, all right? And I will answer your questions, be happy to answer your questions. There's the 7-day. Again, tomorrow a day a lot like today, maybe a few more clouds, a few more showers than we had today, but still not nearly as active as it's going to be. Look at all you guys. Grew up in Maryland. My dad was a commercial crabber. Love it. All right, so there's a look at the 7-day. Low 90s tomorrow, low 90s on Friday. Rain coverage begins to increase somewhat on Friday. Saturday, but I think even more so Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, that is what the Euro is really advertising, all right? So I'll show it to you again. If you're just tuning in, you missed the early part of it. So the GFS is showing nothing, and that's hysterical because we all know we call it the GFS-icane because it loves to spin up random tropical systems, and now this one, apparently no, because it's saying not a thing on it. Yes, I know, it's a lot of work for not a lot of meat. But first of all, these crabs had a ton of meat in them. But that is even, it is a social thing. Bad take. Anybody who says it's too much work, that's a bad take. Picture this. You're at a picnic table, right? And they put a ton of like grocery bag paper right on top of it, all right? And they come out with a big old platter of crabs and they throw the crabs down and you just sit. Now, sometimes the all-you-can-eat places, they start with fried clams and fried chicken, fresh corn that you shuck yourselves, which was so good. The corn was, the silver corn was so amazing. I mean, I love silver corn, and it's fresh up there right now. Well, fresh in most places, I guess. But so they want you to fill up on that stuff, on the all-you-can-eat stuff, because they want you to eat the other stuff and have less room for crabs. No, don't be an amateur. Do not be only amateurs fill up on the chicken and the clam strips and the hush puppies and the corn. You eat a little bit of that, but you save the room for the crabs. And then literally, they just dump a ton of crabs right on that table, and you lift them to see which the heavy ones are. You want to get the heaviest ones, right? Most meat. And then you just sit there and you just pick them. And you're there for hours. And it is a social thing. So don't, it's too much work. Come on, lock in. Anyway, all right, so let's go back to the Euro. I'm just beside myself with those comments. I don't know about crab sushi. I don't think so, David. I've never had it. CJ says a cat won by Friday. Let's hope not, CJ. Let us hope not. All right, anyway, there's a look at the Euro. All right, this is tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, still not a lot, right? Friday morning, here's Friday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Coverage is still mostly offshore. You still really don't have low pressure, even on Friday morning, or not much of one at least. And then by Friday night, still mostly inland and east. Saturday morning, 8 a.m., look at the coverage in the eastern Gulf. The Euro starts to develop the low a little bit better. Still not a truly tropical system or not much of one, but definitely expected to be moving onshore, a better rain chance starting on Saturday morning. But look at Saturday afternoon. Still not a ton out there. And if you live inland, you're not going to see much of anything. Do not cancel your plans. Do not cancel your plans. You're right, Ren. Crab with a K is the stuff, the imitation crab is the stuff they put in on the sushi. All right. So listen to Adam. If I'm paying, I ain't working for it. Bad call. It's bad form. All right. Anyway, there's a look at Saturday night, 8 o'clock. But watch Sunday. Then you start to see the low take shape a little bit by Sunday morning. All right. As it moves north, the low center stays close to shore, so it really doesn't have a chance to do very much, but it will be spreading rain inland. If the low is there, guys, and look at Monday afternoon. And that's some significant rain. You know what? Let's look how much rain this is actually showing here. Total precip. This is probably going to be pretty darn impressive. Yeah, so look at the numbers. So this is the Euro's forecast. through Monday night, through Tuesday afternoon. There are the numbers. Can you see them? So if the low develops, those are the kind of coastal numbers that you'll see. Some really nice rainfall totals. But it is a rainmaker. That is it. It is absolutely nice. I'm reading your comments. Nice call. Denise said, or Charlotte said, your name is Workaholic. That's an awesome slam, Charlotte. Yeah. No, I don't think it's a drop buster, Ryan. I hope it will be, but I'm not so sure about that. But Wayne, exactly. Guys, let's be on. Wait a minute. Wayne is friends with something different. I just clicked over Wayne's name. Look, I'll say this again. I mean, this is for the people in the back of the room and for Wayne. Okay? It's going to rain. That's it. Not going to be a big deal. All right? Even if it became a weak tropical storm, our afternoon thunderstorm winds go 60, 65. Even if this was a weak tropical storm at 40, 45, which probably won't happen, it's going to rain. All right? So wait a minute. Who was the guy? This guy, Wayne. All right? It's going to rain. And how many months have we been begging for rain? It's a good thing. Now, I'll say it again. If you have plans outdoors on Sunday and Monday and you're concerned about canceling your plans, as someone mentioned earlier on, should you cancel? Okay, at this point, I say you do not cancel. At least wait until the low develops, right? Because if the GFS is right, which is a big thing, if it is, it's rare, but if it is, we get nothing other than our typical afternoon storms. So I beg you, I'll say this again at 8:05, and I will have this proof on video when people are, hey, Dennis, you said it was going to rain all weekend. No, I really didn't. At least not yet, I didn't. I mean, if the euro is right, guys, I mean, come on. If the euro is right, that's a lot of rain. I mean, okay, not that it's a lot of rain, it's just a lot of clouds and a rainy Sunday and a rainy Monday. This is Sunday afternoon. This is Sunday evening. This is Monday. Monday's even rainier. Monday afternoon, Monday evening. There's Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday, the euro is still showing significant rain on Tuesday until it finally starts to go away, all right? So if the euro is right, you'll be fine, Rodney. You'll be fine. So Merritt grew up in Salisbury, loves me some crabs. I'm with you, Merritt. I worked at WBOC for 3 years. So Lisa says I like suspenders. I've lost control of this group now. We've officially gone off the deep end. So, all right. So anyway, let's recap, shall we? I'm going to go have dinner, and unfortunately, it's not blue crabs. We'll be back tomorrow night. Tune in tomorrow night, because by then we're one day closer to that low developing. But it ain't going to be there tomorrow either, by the way. It doesn't form until later Friday or Saturday. But let's recap. Start with the 7-day, all right? Tomorrow, a day a lot like today. Friday, a little bit better chance of rain. Westerly flow the entire time, by the way. So that means you could have rain at almost any time of the day. Saturday, moisture builds. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday will be the better rain chances. I think those highs are actually too high. I think it's probably more like 89 or 90. I may have to change that for the 11. Well, I can increase the volume, Kirsty, if you think the volume needs to go higher, but I don't think so. It looks like it's what it was before. I can't increase it. So there you go. So for the Bay, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots. Again, we've showed you rain totals. I'll show you this one more time. The coastal areas definitely have the better chance. So if you check out this, look at the overall rainfall. Look at how close that heavy rain hugs the coast. See that? Look at this right there. That's I-75. All the heavy stuff is west. Inland, not much of anything. But if the low develops, the best rain coverage will be along and west of I-75. And Kate Bradenton is in there. Bowling Green will not see nearly as much, Andrea. All right? So that is it. Okay, Tommy has a question. My question as well is, we have a backyard party scheduled Sunday afternoon, renting a big tent, but now debating on rescheduling. Okay. I will say this again. Well, first of all, where is that party, Tommy? Because where you live and where that party is going to be is a big part of my answer. Sunday, all right, you live in Florida in July. You know there's going to be the chance of rain in the afternoon anyway. So you chose to have a party knowing that there's a chance of rain anyway. So I would think, why bother canceling at this point? Because you always know maybe there's going to rain for a couple hours. It is not going to rain all the time. Even if we get the best case scenario, which is the worst case scenario, if you know what I'm saying, we need the rain, it's still not going to rain all the time. So my take is, check us out tomorrow. Well, I can't zoom in on that, Diana. Unfortunately, that's a map that came in from the WPC. But South Tampa, same thing. Same thing for South Tampa. So we'll be back tomorrow. Well, I have a little bit better idea, but my answer to you is, at this point, I would not cancel yet. I would wait until Friday if you can, and we'll have a pretty good idea of that. Once we see the low, once the low exists, then we know what's going to happen. But right now, we think that low is going to develop, but then again, the GFS says no. So I would not cancel yet. I would not. I would not cancel. That's me. I'm just saying I would not cancel. Did I say I would not cancel? I would not cancel. All right? All right. So you guys have a good night. I am going to go eat my dinner. And we'll be back tomorrow night with more information. We have a guest tomorrow, too. I can't remember who it is, but we have another guest tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your loyalty. Have a great night. Hope you learned how to pick blue crabs today. Oh, it's too much work. Ridiculous. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow on the next edition of DPL.